What if the reason reality hasn't responded to you yet is because you're trying too hard? There is a pervasive myth that has infiltrated the spiritual and self-development communities, a misunderstanding so deep that it keeps millions of people locked in a cycle of exhaustion. It is the belief that manifestation requires force. We are taught that to change our lives, we must raise our vibration to a fever pitch. We must visualize with intense emotion. We must pump ourselves up, shout our affirmations, and push our energy out into the world with the force of a tidal wave. We treat the universe like a heavy door that must be battered down. But look around you. Look at your own history. When you were frantic, when you were pushing, when you were vibrating with the desperate need for a specific outcome, did reality bend or did it break? The truth is much quieter and significantly more powerful. Reality does not respond to emotional force. It does not respond to the volume of your desire. It responds to signal coherence. There is a physics to this that we have ignored for too long, replacing the elegance of quantum mechanics with the brute force of wishful thinking. The universe is not listening to how loud you scream. It is listening to how clear your signal is. And a clear signal only comes from a calm mind. If this already feels like it's explaining something you've struggled with, hit like right now so this reaches others who are exhausting themselves trying to manifest. And tell me in the comments, do you tend to push harder or do you pull back when things don't work? I want to know where you are in this cycle.
We need to fundamentally restructure the way we view the interaction between consciousness and matter. We have to stop thinking of ourselves as energetic battering rams and start thinking of ourselves as tuning forks. When a tuning fork is struck with violence, the sound is harsh, distorted, and quickly fades. But when it vibrates with a pure, sustained tone, it can shatter glass. That is the difference between intensity and coherence. Intensity is the spike of emotion you feel when you desperately want something. It is the manic energy of trying. It is high amplitude, but it is often chaotic. It is full of noise. Coherence, on the other hand, is the alignment of every wave in your system. It is when your thoughts, your emotions, and your nervous system are all vibrating in perfect unison. When you are coherent, you do not need to push, you simply are. And in that state of being, you become a superconductor for probability. The reason you have been tired, the reason you feel like you are fighting against a current, is because you have been confusing high energy with high power. They are not the same. A bomb has high energy, it explodes and destroys. A laser has high coherence, it stays focused and creates. You have been trying to bomb your way into a new timeline when what you needed to do was become the laser. This is why the calm mind rewrites reality faster than the intense one, because the calm mind is not fighting the static. The calm mind has eliminated it.
I created a free ebook called The Magic of Affirmations that shows how to speak to the subconscious without tension or strain. You'll find it waiting in the description. To understand why this works, we have to look at the fabric of reality itself, not through the lens of wishful thinking, but through the lens of quantum mechanics and biophysics. In the quantum field, everything exists as a wave of probability. An electron is not a solid particle sitting in one place. It is a cloud of potential existing everywhere at once until it is observed. This is the famous observer effect. When consciousness interacts with potential, the wave function collapses into a particle. It becomes a solid event. It becomes reality. Now, here is where most people get it wrong. They think that to collapse the wave function into the reality they want, they need to observe it with intensity. They think they need to stare at it with the psychic equivalent of a magnifying glass under the sun. But in physics, a noisy measurement creates a distorted result. If the instrument measuring the particle is shaking, which is what your mind is doing when you are anxious, desperate, or overly intense, the reading is inaccurate. The collapse of the wave becomes chaotic.
This is the principle of quantum decoherence. In a quantum system, coherence is the state where all the parts of the system are in phase with each other. They are communicating instantly and perfectly. This is the state where magic happens, where tunneling occurs, where barriers are passed through as if they weren't there. Decoherence is what happens when the environment interferes. It is the loss of information. It is the static that turns the quantum wave back into ordinary, stubborn matter. When you approach your life with high intensity, with that desperate, I need this to happen now energy, you are literally creating decoherence. You are literally scrambling the signal. You are sending out a frequency that is jagged, spiked with fear, spiked with doubt, and spiked with the very lack of the thing you are trying to attract. The quantum field, which acts as a mirror, reflects this chaos back to you. It gives you a reality that feels jagged, chaotic, and unstable.
Think about a calm lake. If you drop a single pebble into it, the ripples are perfect circles. They travel far, they are coherent. Now imagine you are thrashing around in that lake, splashing water everywhere because you want to make waves. You are making waves, certainly, but they are clashing, canceling each other out, creating foam and confusion. You are doing a lot of work, but the signal, the ripple, is lost in the noise. A stable system always outperforms an energetic one over time. In neuroscience, we see this in how the brain processes information. When the brain is overactivated, when beta waves are spiking into high beta, we enter a state of fight or flight. We become hyper-focused on threat, on time, on the body, on the environment. We become materialists in the strictest sense because our survival depends on it. In this state, the brain is incoherent. Different regions are firing out of sync. The heart and the brain are no longer communicating rhythmically. When the brain is calm, when it lowers into alpha and theta wave states, it becomes coherent. The left hemisphere and right hemisphere synchronize. The frontal lobe cools down. You stop processing the world as a series of threats and start processing it as a field of information. In this state, your perception creates a cleaner measurement of reality. You are no longer collapsing the probability of struggle or lack because your nervous system isn't signaling that you are in danger. You are signaling that you are safe. And in the language of the quantum field, safety is synonymous with abundance. Only a creature who has enough is truly safe. Therefore, by becoming calm, you hack the system. You signal, I have enough through your biology, and reality has no choice but to mirror that state to remain consistent. This brings us to the interface between your biology and your destiny, the nervous system. We cannot talk about quantum coherence without talking about the vagus nerve and the state of your body. Many of us are trying to manifest new lives while inhabiting bodies that are screaming that they are currently under attack. You might be visualizing $1 million or perfect health, but if your sympathetic nervous system is locked in a fight or flight response, your electromagnetic field is broadcasting emergency. You cannot manifest creation energy from a survival state. When you are in survival mode, your field contracts. It draws in tight to the body to preserve energy. You become a particle, not a wave. You become dense matter, subject to the laws of cause and effect, subject to Newtonian physics where for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, where you have to work hard for everything you get. This is the hard work timeline. But when you regulate your nervous system, when you establish a baseline of calm, your field expands. You move from particle to wave. You enter the quantum realm where non-locality is possible, where things can come to you without you physically dragging them there. This is what we call effortless luck. Have you ever noticed how monks, long-time meditators, or people who just seem generally chilled out tend to have things work out for them? It's not just that they have a positive attitude, it's that their biological signal is coherent. There is no static in their wire. When you hold an intention in a state of nervous system safety, you are essentially telling the universe, this is already true.
Why? Because if you didn't have it, or if you were worried about getting it, you would be stressed. The absence of stress is the presence of the result. Emotional neutrality is the key that unlocks the door. We often think we need to feel ecstatic to manifest. Ecstasy is great, but ecstasy is a spike. It is unsustainable. Peace, however, is a plateau. You can live there. And because you can live there, the reality that matches it can settle in and stay. I want to share a story about a man who was a musician. For 10 years he pushed. He practiced 8 hours a day. He emailed every label. He networked aggressively at parties. His energy was frantic. He wanted it so badly it hurt. Every time he visualized his success, he felt a tightness in his chest, a desperate yearning. He was intense, but nothing moved. He got close, but the door always slammed shut. He was creating massive decoherence because his signal was, "I don't have this, I need this, please give this to me."
Eventually, he broke. He simply ran out of energy to force it. He decided that he loved music enough to just play it for himself. He let go of the outcome. He regulated his nervous system not because he wanted to manifest, but because he was tired of being anxious. He started playing from a place of deep, coherent calm. He found joy in the note, not the potential record deal. 3 months later, a video of him playing in his living room, no production, no hype, just him and the coherence of his sound, went viral. A producer found him. The career arrived. It didn't arrive because he gave up on the dream. It arrived because he stopped pushing the dream away with the noise of his own desperation. This is the mechanism of the backfire. Why does intensity backfire? Because nature seeks equilibrium. When you create a massive potential of excess importance, when you put something on a pedestal, you create a vacuum. You are telling the universe that this thing is over there and you are over here, and the distance between you is vast. Intensity solidifies that distance. It emphasizes the separation. Furthermore, emotional spikes burn energy quickly. You cannot hold a high-intensity state for long. So you crash. You go from "I'm going to take over the world" to "I'm a failure" in the span of a few hours. This oscillation creates a flickering signal. The universe receives "I am powerful," then "I am weak," then "I am rich," then "I am poor." The average of that signal is 0. It is static. Coherence is steady. It is the hum of the refrigerator, not the explosion of a firework. It is the ability to hold an intention lightly. Think of it like holding a bird. If you hold it too tight with intensity, you crush it. If you hold it too loosely, it flies away. But if you hold it with calm, present awareness, it stays. It feels safe. Your desires are the same. They want to land, but they cannot land on a shaking runway. So how do we do this? How do we move from the addiction of intensity to the power of coherence? We have to practice a new way of being. This is not a technique you do for 20 minutes and then forget. It is a recalibration of your baseline. I want you to try this with me right now. You don't need to close your eyes, but I want you to soften your focus. Notice the tension in your jaw. Let it drop. Notice the slight elevation of your shoulders. Let them fall. Feel the breath moving in your body. Don't force it to be deep, just watch it. Now, bring to mind something you have been trying to force, something you have been gripping tightly. Notice the sensation that arises when you think about it. Is it a flutter in the stomach? A tightness in the throat? That sensation is the noise. That is the interference. I want you to imagine that desire is simply a fact. It's not a mountain to climb. It's a pair of shoes sitting by the door. You don't get emotional about your shoes. You know they are there. You don't scream at the shoes to exist. They just are. Can you look at your desire with that same level of boring, calm certainty? Can you neutralize the charge? As you breathe, imagine the static in your head clearing. Imagine your brain waves smoothing out like the surface of the ocean becoming glass. In this space, there is no lack. There is no time. There is only the signal. I am. This is the coherence practice. It is the practice of lowering internal noise until the signal of your true self can be heard. It is not about adding more, it is about subtracting the interference. When you stop introducing the noise of doubt, the noise of fear, and the noise of trying, the natural signal of your intention is incredibly pure. It travels instantly to the edges of the universe. This brings us to the mirror principle. Reality is not a judgment system. It is a mirror system. It reflects your state of being. If you stand before a mirror and scream, the reflection screams back. If you stand before a mirror and weep, the reflection weeps. You cannot physically force the reflection to smile while you are frowning. You must smile first. But here's the nuance. You cannot fake the smile. The mirror knows. This is why fake it till you make it often fails. If you are smiling on the outside, but your nervous system is vibrating with terror, the mirror reflects the terror, not the teeth. Coherence is the alignment of the inner and outer. It is when the smile on your face matches the safety in your gut. When you cultivate a calm mind, you are polishing the mirror. You are removing the distortions. You are allowing reality to reflect a clear image. And because your natural state, the state of your soul, if you will, is one of abundance, joy, and expansion, a clean mirror will naturally reflect those things. You don't have to force abundance. You just have to stop distorting the reflection with your anxiety. Calm is the highest form of control. This is the paradox that breaks the mind but heals the spirit. We think control looks like micromanagement. We think it looks like gripping the wheel. But true control, quantum control, looks like letting go of the wheel because you know the car is self-driving. It looks like trusting the coherence of the system. What if peace is power? What if the most productive thing you can do today is nothing? What if the most effective action you can take is to regulate your nervous system until you feel safe enough to receive? The calm mind collapses timelines faster because there is no resistance to the movement. Resistance is friction. Friction creates heat. That's the intensity you feel. But flow is frictionless. When you are in a state of coherence, you glide between probabilities. You don't have to climb the wall, you walk through the door. The path of least resistance is not the path of laziness, it is the path of efficiency. It is the path of nature. Water does not scream at the rock to move, it flows around it, over it, and eventually, through its persistence and fluidity, it carves the canyon. Be like water. Not the crashing wave, but the deep moving current. The deep ocean is silent, yet it holds the power to move continents. The surface might be choppy, but your depth must be still. As you move forward from this moment, catch yourself when you slip into trying. Catch yourself when you feel the familiar burn of intensity, the desperate need to make it happen. Recognize that sensation not as passion, but as static. Stop, breathe, recalibrate, return to coherence. Remind yourself that the signal must be clear to be received. You are a transmitter of reality. Make your transmission a symphony, not a siren. I want to know, where do you notice yourself trying too hard in life right now? Is it in love? In money? In your career? Drop it in the comments. Awareness is the first return to coherence. Let's make the comment section a place where we release the pressure. If this reframed how you think about manifestation, hit like so others can discover a calmer way to create. The algorithm needs to hear this signal too. And don't forget to download the magic of affirmations. It's designed to strengthen your signal without force, helping you speak the language your subconscious actually understands. Stop shouting at the universe. It can hear you just fine. Reality doesn't move for the loudest signal. It moves for the clearest one.